such an amazing head on her shoulders and the game, and I think she has a voice and a platform that's going to, transcend the sport. And as we know now, sport is not just tennis. It's fashion, it's art, it's culture, it's having a platform, and I think she does brilliantly of merging all of those together.
Alex Eala has done it again. This time, it wasn't a set score or a ranking jump that had the tennis world talking. It was a declaration from Maria Sharapova herself, and she said it loud and clear. Alex Eala is now the new face of style within the WTA. This isn't a passing remark from someone chasing headlines. This is Maria Sharapova, 5-time Grand Slam winner, former world #1, a woman who spent her entire career balancing elite tennis with a spot on the covers of the world's biggest fashion magazines. Nobody understands the weight of being both an athlete and a cultural figure better than she does. So when Sharapova points at Alex Eala and calls her the new fashion face of the WTA, that comment lands differently. She isn't guessing. She's recognizing something she once lived herself. Sharapova didn't hold back when she made the statement. She explained that Eala's massive following and her natural sense of presence have shifted the conversation around women's tennis entirely. In her view, Eala isn't just another talented player climbing the rankings. She's someone who pulls attention into rooms that have nothing to do with tennis at all. Sharapova was blunt about it. This has stopped being purely a tennis story. It's a cultural one now, and Alex Eala is the one driving it forward. Sharapova simply put into words what a lot of people were already sensing. Alex Eala has stepped into a space that very few athletes ever reach, where her impact stretches well past the boundaries of her sport. And to Sharapova, that isn't luck. It's a direct reflection of who Eala is, how she presents herself, and what she has come to symbolize for people watching from around the globe. The comment didn't come out of nowhere. It followed directly on the heels of Eala's entrance at the Cincinnati Open opening ceremony, where she showed up in an outfit that immediately became the center of conversation across both tennis and fashion circles. The second she appeared, phones came out, clips spread across social platforms, and fans everywhere reacted with the same kind of stunned admiration. It wasn't just a tennis moment, it became a fashion headline in its own right. That appearance wasn't a throwaway styling choice, it turned into something bigger. Word has already started circulating that several major fashion labels are exploring the idea of bringing Alex Eala on as a brand ambassador. These are companies that typically reserve those partnerships for the biggest names in entertainment and sport. And Eala's Cincinnati moment appears to be exactly what pushed her onto their radar. Combine that with her rapid rise on tour, and it's easy to see why the fashion world is suddenly paying close attention.
But if you treat them too high, and you treat the tough moments as a really big low in your career, it's hard to find that happy medium, and I think that's what that sweet spot is really important, especially for a young player's career.
But Sharapova's respect for Eala runs deeper than any red carpet moment. She's been tracking Eala's rise since the young Filipino standout broke through at the Miami Open, the tournament that changed how the entire tour viewed her. Before that result, Eala was regarded as a promising talent with upside. After it, she was undeniably a competitor other players had to prepare for, and everyone in the sport took notice. Sharapova also pointed out something bigger than rankings or titles. Eala's rise carries meaning for millions across Asia who have rarely seen themselves represented at the top of women's tennis. The sport has long skewed toward players from Europe and North America, and true Asian representation at the elite level has been scarce. Sharapova believes Eala is rewriting that story in real time, and doing it with talent, composure, and now, undeniable style. According to Sharapova, Eala isn't only building her own legacy, she's clearing a path for the next generation of players across Asia who now have proof that reaching the top of the sport is possible. That, Sharapova says, elevates Eala beyond simply being a great player. She's becoming a symbol, both for Asian tennis and now for Asian representation in global fashion. Coming from someone who understands firsthand what it means to represent an entire region on the world stage, that kind of praise carries real weight. What stands out just as much to Sharapova is Eala's temperament. Being a champion, she said, isn't only about stacking wins. It's about how a player responds when a match doesn't go their way. Confidence is easy when things are going well. The real measure comes in how someone handles a setback. And by that standard, Sharapova believes Eala already carries herself like someone well beyond her years. Eala doesn't let losses rattle her, and she doesn't let wins pull her out of focus. Sharapova called that balance one of the hardest things for a young athlete to develop. The WTA calendar is long and unforgiving. Even legends lose regularly. What separates the elite from the rest is the ability to shake off a bad result and keep pushing forward. And Sharapova says that quality is already visible in Eala. The admiration isn't one-directional either. Eala has said plenty of times that Sharapova was a major inspiration to her growing up. Like countless young players, she watched Sharapova's career unfold. The Wimbledon breakthrough as a teenager, the string of accomplishments that built one of the most recognizable careers tennis has ever seen. Eala has spoken about wanting to chart a similar path, drawing lessons from those who came before her. Now that admiration is being returned, with Sharapova looking at her with the kind of belief that only comes from someone who has walked that road herself. And Sharapova isn't the only major figure taking notice. Novak Djokovic, considered by many the greatest player of his era, has reportedly voiced real admiration for Eala. Following her run at Indian Wells, he reportedly remarked that she's compelling to watch on broadcast, but even more impressive courtside. Coming from someone who has faced the very best competitors across multiple generations, that's not a small compliment. He described her as a genuine talent earning her spot through hard work and ability, not hype. Jessica Pegula has echoed similar sentiments. After Eala's exit at Indian Wells, Pegula made a point of saying that a single result shouldn't define a young player's trajectory. She highlighted the bigger picture instead: the buzz, the attention, and the genuine excitement Eala is generating across the women's game. Pegula even mentioned wanting to have Eala on her podcast to dig into it further. That kind of support from a top-ranked peer says a great deal about how she's viewed inside the locker room. Step back and look at the full picture, and one thing becomes clear. None of this is manufactured attention. It's coming from some of the most credible voices in the sport. Sharapova sees a rising icon representing Asia, now stepping into fashion's spotlight too. Djokovic sees discipline and genuine substance. Pegula sees a player energizing the entire tour. And fans across Asia are seeing themselves reflected in her story, many for the first time. There's still a long road ahead for Alex Eala. More wins, tougher losses, and plenty still to learn. But if this is only the starting point, and if Sharapova's words prove as forward-looking as they sound, women's tennis may be watching the emergence of a genuine Asian superstar. On the court, and now, on the runway too.